Hey, what's up, guys? Yeah, this is a YouTube thing. This is Sherif Kamal, and he's Nature's Fitness model. And I was just chatting with him yesterday, and I was like, yo, I got to get this guy on YouTube. Now, you guys know I don't just interview anybody, but I was really having a really good time talking with my friend here, Sherif, and he was explaining to me his raw food and what he does. I mean, first of all, the guy looks fantastic, and anybody that looks this good, I want to, do an interview with. And so we're going to go into some stuff. What I like about you, Sherif, yesterday was your balanced approach to training and nutrition. Are you like high raw food, mostly raw food, 100% militant? I mean, what's your percentage?
When it comes to percentage, I mean, I'm usually going into 100% raw diet or alkalizing raw 100% when approaching competition. You know, most competitors, when they go close into a competition, they go through a depletion, where I'm basically going through a detoxification. So I'm actually getting healthier as I approach competition because I'm detoxifying any accumulation that I may have, gathered through, let's say foods or, some toxic air, whatever. As I approach competition, I actually get leaner that way. That's really how I approach it. Versus a lot of the bodybuilders and the fitness models, they deplete their body and they're usually on a very, radical diet where they're just eating, let's say, like a lean meat, like a chicken or something like that, and they're not eating any carbohydrates or any sugar, or dehydrating their body. So they're really pulling on their organs and really hurting their body in a lot of ways. And usually they end up being constipated for the next 2 weeks after the competition. So I don't really approach training like that. I'm never going to put my health in front of competition or in front of, building my muscles. So usually my approach is really to obsess more over efficiency rather than mass, and I feel that is really what keeps me in line with my training. So when it comes to percentages and stuff, I don't really calculate things too much. I really like to keep things simplistic and keep things basic, and that's really what I see in nature, and that's how I try to feed my body and feed my training. And I was speaking to Dan before about how my strategy, my approach to strategy when it comes to weights and training. I don't restrict myself in any one strategy. I like to shock my body with different types of strategies. High reps sometimes low reps, sometimes heavy weights, sometimes light weights. Everything needs to rest, and all strategies have a certain purpose for a certain time.
I think they might want to know what you do so that they can get a better context on what you're speaking about.
Okay. Well, basically what I do is, I'm basically combining those two things. The art of understanding, the whole holistic thing is understanding those herbs, those raw foods, and what place they have. It's basically strategic eating, and taking that and mixing it together with training and getting into shape, overall wellness, and even bringing it to the point where you're actually building muscles and improving your body, and transitioning into a much healthier lifestyle. So that's really what I do, and I'm also a competitor, a fitness model competitor. So I test myself on stage up against a lot of people who are taking a lot of synthetic products like whey protein and some synthetic creatines and a lot of supplements, a lot of vitamins, a lot of things that they add on.
Natural.
Yeah, with the label natural. And
so no roid users, but
a lot of steroids as well. Definitely there's a lot of steroids in the industry, and that's really the culture of the industry right now. But it's slowly transitioning, and more people are getting, the body's starting to talk to them, and they can't ignore that. So as soon as you're talking about something that's healthy or something that's alive, right away their ears are open and they're really curious. Like, well, they might not be able to, express that they're interested right away, or they might try to hide that. But they're really listening, and they want to know, what, I really have that problem. I am constipated, actually. Actually, what, my organs are hurting. What, I didn't have such a good visit at the doctor last time when he checked my blood. There was a lot of problems. And, it's all for this, this trophy that I'm trying to get, or to get into this magazine. Their focus has shifted from where it should be, and that's health. And whatever comes with that health, whatever benefits you get from that, that's really the key. You have to stay loyal to that. And that's really going to pay you back 10 times over. Like I talk a lot about longevity training. That's the bigger picture. So I always make sure that I can always see that bigger picture when I'm training or when I'm getting into anything. And I always have to be careful and make sure that all my training is in line with nature and with raw foods and herbs and stuff. And I always speak a lot about that personal alchemy. So every single person has a responsibility to find his own pillars of training, his own pillars of what kind of herbs and what kind of balance they have to put in. But, overall, you have to put in a little bit of work, a little bit of time, and this is a thing of years, not months, So there's no quick fixes and there's no magic pill.
How long have you been like a raw food training? in training that way?
I've been raw food training. See, what happened is I was going through a lot of detoxification for a long time. For a good, year and a half, I was in that phase where I was cleaning out my system and detoxifying and really trying to search for a higher level of health because I wasn't feeling good. I came from, a world where my genetics was always saving me, and it came to a point where the genetics said, you know what, it's over now. I'm not going to bail you out. You're going to drown this time. So my body was talking to me, and it said the switch has to go on. So as soon as I felt that, I just automatically just switched and just dove into it. And ever since that point, I never really looked back because I just felt myself being drawn in more and more about this stuff, and I felt better. I had higher levels of energy. I was able to train longer. It was almost endless, the amounts of energy that I was getting from this stuff. So I was like, okay, I'm really working with some really powerful stuff, and I'm going to see where this stuff can take me. And then I had a lot of negative forces against me. Obviously I speak a lot about the environment that you keep around you, especially when you're getting into something new. You always want to keep a certain negative environment or a negative force away from you until you can really bind with the strategy that you're trying to implement to your body. That's a very, very important part of training and of if you want to get into a higher level of health. Your environment is definitely a strong influence to what you do and what you think is right and what you think is wrong. So you have to keep that distraction out until you really come close to what it is that your strategy is leading you towards. Once you understand that well, and it's well rooted in your body and in your mind and the way you do things and your culture, that's when you can kind of go out there and start testing it in different ways. But most of it was negative forces. People said, you know what, you're getting too skinny, you're dropping a lot of weight, there's no way that you can build muscles this way. And I was out there saying, you know what, watch this in 6 months from now, because I had a very good schooling and training. I understood the Weider principles. I understood a lot of different strategies, isometrics, weight training, all kinds of stuff. I used to box for 15 years, so I did a lot of physical activity for a long time. So I understood how to manipulate my body, but I never combined it with raw food. So this was my new experiment. So it's really, to tell you the truth, it's really a self-experimentation that I'm constantly pursuing, and to this day I'm still experimenting with my body. And I think that everybody should really take that step, be brave, and take that step and experiment with yourself and become independent, because it'll pay you back 10 times over, and you'll have a weapon to heal yourself. And when you can heal yourself, you're going to automatically heal others around you. There's people who are changing their diets, and I can see it around me. My family, my friends, they're being influenced. More and more I see them drinking liquid fruit, liquid shakes. It makes them feel good. It charges them up. So, I mean, this is the real stuff, and it definitely works, definitely.
What are you working towards?
I'm really just working to see how far I can really push my body with raw foods and what's the limits of these things. And so far I'm not finding any limits, because I feel like I can go on forever. Like,
do you have a competition coming up?
Yeah, I have a competition coming up in November. I'm going to the UFE competition. It's in Hamilton, Ontario in Canada. And it's an elite competition, so basically I'm going to be up against the best fitness models of that competition, and
fitness models.
Fitness models, exactly.
So it's not really the bodybuilders.
Well, fitness models right now, and fitness model is kind of something that they created so that people who wanted to express fitness on the stage, they could do that. So it's a different kind of approach, and also it was good for the industry and everything. So they developed the fitness model competitions for women and for men. And it's usually about leaning up and looking good, not too vascular, not showing so many veins like a bodybuilder would, and not looking too jacked. But as time is progressing, and more and more fitness models are looking more like bodybuilders. So a lot of times I'll be going up against guys who are really looking like bodybuilders.
Yeah.
And the thing is, with fitness models, there's no weight category. So it's like I could be put up against a guy who's 220 pounds on steroids or whatever synthetics that he's taking into his body. And it's basically I got to deal with those factors.
So
and that's my challenge.
Do they go by how you look?
They go by the balance, the symmetry, the way they do take health into consideration. But it's a lot
when
of
you're glowing. They got to give you a couple points.
Well, exactly. So I'm trying to do the best that I can, and my focus is not really to win. My focus is really to test my health. It's an experiment, and bring myself to that higher level. I got to put myself in that situation where I have to walk the walk, and the best way to do that is to put myself on stage, because that can bring me to that next level where I have to focus all my attention on my mission, and at the same time I'm experimenting with those herbs and with those raw foods, and that's really how I get a even better understanding of how they work, and I can share that information with a lot of people. So that's really what I get charged on, and that's really what I'm doing.
That sounds good, man. I'm actually kind of inspired. I could throw 15 pounds on probably and get up there. And
for sure, if you get your mind plugged into that and you got something that's driving you, you got goal-oriented training. That's another mental principle of mine. You know, it'll take you to wherever you want to go. As long as you focus your mind into where you want to go, eventually you're going to get there. There's nothing going to stop you. Don't let anything distract you. But you always want to fuel yourself with something that's not destructive towards, you know, the bigger picture, which is your health and your body. You want to have that thing balanced and sync. You know what I mean? And that's really the main thing.
health and happiness.
Definitely health, happiness, wellness,
Yeah.
you know, longevity. That's the bigger picture. You know, this is a short-term thing that I'm doing, but within that short term, I'm seeing, you know, I'm getting long-term results and long-term information that I can use for the rest of my life, and that I can share with people that could use that information.
So the fitness modeling that you're doing now, which is the premise of kind of the work that you're doing, that you're sharing with your videos, is really just around the fitness modeling at this time, but you don't see that as being a long-term.
Well, you know what? I'll let it play the way it wants to play. You know, I put my cards down, and whatever happens, happens. You know, I like to just, you know, play it by ear. But I mean, wherever that goes, you know, if I can influence more and more people to clean up their act and you know, and clean up their systems and live better, and maybe, you know, indirectly save lives or whatever it is, whatever comes out of it, you know, that's fantastic. You know, but I know that this is the best strategy, you know, on this planet, because it's from this planet. You know what I mean? It's not from some other alien planet or some mad science experiment that I'm going to be a victim of or a guinea pig for. You know, I mean, I don't want to be part of that. I don't want to be of some kind of like experiment of somebody's,
Well,
you know, mad science that in 20 years they're going to tell me, oops, sorry, you made a mistake, and your organs just are not going to function for the rest of your life.
for the viewers here, before we wrap this up, let's just get, because I have most of the people that I work with want to lose weight or heal up diseases,
Definitely.
which of course is the same kind of thing we're doing. But right now you're more in a muscle and kind of on how you look and putting on some lean muscle. So share with some of the young guys out here what some of your favorite foods are that you use to keep on nice lean muscle mass.
Well, for me, like, you know, good fuel is definitely not refined carbohydrates, you know, and definitely proteins don't come from heavy meats for me. You know, I really like to conserve energy, so I'm looking for, you know, good amino acid profiles, you know, and there's a lot of plant-based foods that have full amino acid profiles that I use. There's also, you know, some other good sources where you can get a lot of minerals from. So I, you know, focus on minerals. I focus on getting the, you know, the full, complete amino acid profiles. There's foods like goji berries. They have full amino acid profiles. You got flax seeds. You got bee pollen. You got spirulina, which I'm a huge fan of as well. You know, and sometimes I use, you know, a lot of, you know, supplements to get an extra edge. And, you know, and if you guys are into the whey protein and all that stuff, you know, there's a Sun Warrior that I'm working with also that has an excellent protein, and it's a raw vegan protein that I do use, you know, protein competition and after competition. You know, it's a good
is that rice based?
Source. That's a biofermented rice based.
It's very similar to the nutrition essentials that Lou Corona uses to keep on strength and power.
It is actually, exactly.
And Sun Warrior is a good product as well.
Definitely. So, you know, if you're coming from that world where you're using those whey proteins and stuff, that's where, you know, that definitely you want to maybe swap, you know, one product that's completely destroying your organs and is rooted from some animal that you have no idea what kind of condition, what they put into that animal, and they inject it into the animal, what, you know, and what, you know, how they were, you know, raised. It wasn't whether it was free range or not. And, you know, what I'm talking about is all the, you know, the whey proteins and stuff.
The casein is still in the whey.
Yeah, and there's, you find lead, you find mercury,
long
you find
protein.
Definitely.
Oh, and you find the heavy metals.
And you find heavy metals as well. So, you know, you're only poisoning your body, but you're cutting up your body as well with those organs, because your body's got to flush them out. You know, obviously they're mucus forming, they're bloating. So I don't want to get bloating and all kinds of like problems and heavy metals, and I don't want to deal with all those toxins when I'm trying to get my protein. That's all I want, is to get my protein. So
the amino acids, and so
definitely.
You're saying nitrogen. That the closer to the ground plant-based amino acids from those foods you mentioned, hemp seeds too, you were talking about
hemp
yesterday.
seed as well, definitely.
Though you feel like right now those are doing what they need to do. Plant-based protein is working for you.
A full amino acid profile is a full amino acid profile. You know what I mean? If you mix a good variety of them, you know, you don't have to worry about protein. You know, protein is something that's, you know, marketed really hard. It is a component, just like carbohydrates is a component, fats are a component, minerals are a component. You know, electrolytes are a component for energy, and cleansing is a component. All these things have to work in sync, and all have to be from plant-based sources so that they can agree with the body. But also, you know, incorporating it with training. If you don't do your work in the gym, nothing's going to happen. To change your body, you need to plug your mind into and build your body, you know, in conjunction with your training. You have to go in there and do the work, and really, you know, I train hard, and I don't go in there to socialize.
Cool, man. So showing the guns.
It was a pleasure.
That it's working.
So there's
the raw vegan.
Real raw diet.
It ain't big and bulky and puffed up and weird and marbly, but it's nice and tight.
Definitely, 100%.
And it'll
Quality
get you
muscle
there.
lasts long. It was a pleasure.
Sherif, dude, you are the rawfitnessmodel.com.
Thank you very much.
Hey, I'm glad to share with you,
You can check more
man.
information at naturesfitnessmodel.com.
Cool, man. So remember that. Say it again so they make sure.
naturesfitnessmodel.com. If you guys want to see a little bit more about what I do, some more of the herbs that I'm using, there's some water sources as well. Some good water sources there, and some motivational videos if you guys want to see a little bit of my training and how I.
You do videos on YouTube.
Definitely, 100%.
Nice.
Nature's Fitness Model. Either just put that into YouTube. There's my Twitter. I have my like page. On Facebook as well. You can always just connect with me, and you get some good information. See and follow me and see what's happening.
Man, that was a great interview. Just a little bit. I mean, there's a lot more. You're a smart guy, very balanced, and I appreciate that a lot. Balance is the people that tend to last in this game. rawfitnessmodel.com, and then this is Dan McDonald, the Life Regenerator. Go click the links below. I always tell you to do that. Subscribe to these videos. And then if you want to get some really cool information in a balanced way on how to stay strong and beautiful, look at this guy, then go over and subscribe to his videos too. And what's the username?
If you just put in Nature's Fitness Model in YouTube, or even if you Google it, you're going to find tons of information.
What's your username on YouTube?
YouTube is Nature's Fitness Model.
Nature's Fitness
Nature's
Model.
Fitness Model, and the website is naturesfitnessmodel.com.
Oh, did I say Raw Fitness Model?
That's okay. It means the same thing.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Well, I don't want to. Sorry about that. We just met yesterday, and I just was really impressed. So that's why I wanted to do an interview and give you guys a chance to, like I said, I don't just interview anybody. It's got to be somebody that's doing it and is just coming with a balanced and essence, and just really wants to help. So thanks a lot, guys, for subscribing to both of our videos and taking good care of yourself. Eat your fruits, vegetables, and soak your nuts and seeds, and eat those living, wholesome, plant-based foods, and you'll live a good, long, healthy life.
All those herbs.
Right on, bro. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.